Now in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to do the waffle stitch. We're going to be making a baby blanket, so we're going to need, I'm using Aran, which is going to be lovely and warm. I've got a 5mm hook and my scissors. Now for the waffle stitch we have to make it in multiples of 3 for each section. So I want a baby blanket to be roughly 30 inches by 30 inches. So I'm going to chain in multiples of 3 and then I need to add 4. So I'm going to actually chain 109 stitches. It's going to come out slightly smaller, but I want to add a border around the outside. So we're going to go ahead and make our slip knot, and then we need to chain 109. So I'll let you carry on, press pause, and I'll meet you once you've got however many stitches you want your blanket to be. So don't forget, you need multiples of 3 and then add 4 on at the end, so it could be as big or as small as you want it to. Okay, so I've just finished my 109 on my chain, and we need to do double crochets all the way back along this chain to make the baseline. So we need to do a double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So here is our first one and here is our second one. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to go into that second chain, pull up your yarn, we're going to go through 2 and then through 2 again. Now you're just going to carry on for the whole length of your chain doing a double crochet into every single stitch. So I will let you carry on with that. If you want to hit pause, I'm going to meet you at the other end. Okay, so now we got to the end, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. Now we need to go back into this first stitch here. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to do 1 double crochet straight back in that one. And then we need to do a front post double crochet to begin with. So this one here, instead of going in the top, we're going to yarn over, we're going to go straight through the back, pick up that post, yarn over, and then finish off your double crochet. So with the waffle stitch, we're doing 1 of these on this row, followed by 2 normal double crochets in through the top. And then you're going to follow that pattern all the way along. So that's our second double crochet. Now we're going to start our next cluster of 3. So you can see it's already made this raised section here. So the first one that we do is a front post double crochet. So you go behind that post, yarn up, don't make it too tight, and finish your double crochet. Then we're going to go on to the next 2, which is at the top of these posts. That's 1, and that's the second one. So you need to carry on with that pattern all the way along, and I'll meet you towards the end. So we're going to do the front post and then in the top of these 2. Just keep alternating all the way along. Okay, I've just come to the end of that row and I have done my front double post and my 2 singles, and I have got room left now for 1 more front post. That way it's going to make it look more symmetrical, and then we're going to finish off on 1 double crochet. So this is your last stitch here, so we're going to work in the top bit. And chain 1 and turn. But before we do, if I lay the work out for you to see, so this is the front section, and then we're going to end up this end, so it's similar on both sides. So row 2 of this sequence for the waffle, I'm not including your foundation row of double crochets. You need to, again, you've done your chain 1 and turned, we're going to go straight back in the same stitch to do your double crochet, and then you can pretty much see what you've got to do. If it's raised, then you're going to go in front of the posts. If it's in the back, you're going to go in the top. So it's kind of reverse of what we've done on the previous row. So we're going to go in the top of that one and do our double crochet, caught up with me all. And then for these next two that are raised, we are doing 2 front post double crochets. Once you've done a couple of rows, you'll be doing this in your sleep, like so. And then you can see that one's at the back, so we're going to do it in the top, followed by your front 2, as you can see the waffle is already starting. And if we turn it over, this is the right side that you can see on here. So for every 2 rows, you're making up one of these squares. So if you want to carry on and do exactly the same, 1 in the back and 2 at the front all the way along, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've just come to the end of my row 2. I've done my front posts. Now I'm left with doing 2 double crochets and the last 2 stitches. That's 1, and we're going to put 1 in this corner, 1 here. I don't want to go through that, I actually want to go through a stitch. Chain 1 and turn. So as you can see, the waffle stitch is beginning, and if we look at the other side, that's the reverse one where you've got 2 posts. So the front post one, where we've got 1 on its own, will be the front of your work, and this will be the back of your work. So now you need to repeat the last 2 rows. So we're going to go straight back into that first stitch with a half double crochet, and then you can pretty much see from the work that you're looking at, this is a front one. So we're going to do our front post, and then there's going to be 2 double crochets in these top ones here, so 1 in each, 1 in this one, and then obviously your next stitch is this front one because it's raised up, and then back to your normal double crochets on the next 2. So there we have our waffle stitch pretty much formed. So you need to repeat those 2 rows all the way up. So I will see you when I'm just about at 30, and then I'll show you how we finish it off with a border. I've just finished doing my 66th row, and as you can see, this is the front with our waffles, and this is the back. It's a lovely thick make. So we're just going to add our border in. So I've just come to the end of that row, and I'm going to work my way all the way around the outside with double crochets. So I'm just going to chain 1, and I'm going to do a double crochet into, on the waffle stitch, I'm going to split it into 3. So we've got 1, 2, and this middle section here 3. So for every waffle, you want to put 3 double crochets in going around to even it out. So I'm going to have 1 in here, but to begin with, for the corner, there's always going to be 3. So I'm going to do 2 to begin with, so I can end my last stitch in that corner for this particular corner. So yarn over, so that's 1, and this is going to be my number 2. We know we're going to come back in there and do our 3rd one in a moment. So as we work down, that's the first section of that waffle. I'm going to go into this one here, do another double crochet, and then 1 in the 3rd section of that waffle. So if we just give it a little tug, you'll see what I mean. We're here. Because it's a side, you are going to have to gauge it for yourself, but as long as you put it spaced out evenly, that is going to be fine. So all the way around, we're going to look at your waffle and think, right, I need 3. So just separate the 3 in there. So I'm going to have 1 in this first bit here, and then in this middle section here, and then 1 in the end section here, just to space it out. It gives it a nice tidy edge to the blanket. It doesn't get pulled out of shape. So this is our first section of this waffle bit here. Going into the middle section, which I'm going to gauge is about here, and then 1 in the end of that waffle, just here. If you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you at the other corner so we can go over that one again for you. I'm just coming up to the end of this first row here, and as you can see, this is our last cluster, but it began with our foundation chain of double crochets. So we still need to try and fit 3 into here. So I'm going to go into this one for my first one. Second one is this one here. And then my third one, I'm just going to tag it in this corner bit here, but we will need to put in 3 to do the corner. We have 1, 2, and this is our third one to turn around the corner, which gives you that effect. Now we're going to go along this foundation chain. This is obviously going to be the odd one out, and you can still see that it is split into 3, all these waffles. So this first one, I'm just going to have to do 1 in here, this one here, and then when I go over, it's every one. So it's a lot simpler to find. So we've done that one. We're going to go into this next one here, and then into every stitch, go straight through the bars and do a double crochet all the way along. Then when you get to the next corner, you need to do your 3 double crochets to turn your corner and work your way up again. So this is what we're left with. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you back where we started. Okay, so we're right back into our last corner now. We're going to do a double crochet on this last post. And then for this last corner, we need to add 1 more double crochet because we only did 2 when we were in the beginning. Just add that one in. And then we're going to join it with a slip stitch and finish it off. So pull it tight, cut your yarn, and then we're going to sew in this end. So I'm just going to thread my needle and I'm going to weave it in and out until we get to the bottom of the posts, and then it's going to be easier to hide it through right at the bottom there. And then just trim the end off. So there is our finished baby blanket, which measures roughly 30 inches by 30 inches. It's got a nice double crochet border around the outside, holding it all in place. And if you like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and I can pop another one up for you to try. Thank you.